Hello, my name is Marcello, and today I'm going to be showing you how to run a Lewis. In today's video, we're going to be covering how to run a standard Lewis, a Hall of Fame Lewis, as well as donation-based Lewis and a 200 target Lewis. Alright, so from here we're going to go to payoff menu number 5, Lewis class, and today we're only going to be focusing on the standard Lewis. So we're going to go ahead and select standard Lewis, and I am going to be running this for event 9. So here is the program for our event. So first thing that we're going to do is locate the Lewis purse, and we need to extract some data from this. So we know it's going to be 3 classes, so we're going to jump to option number 4, which is the Lewis. So we wanted to have 3 classes, we have 3 classes set, and then it is 60, 40, so that's going to be 2 places, and the way to figure out the number of places is to just count the number of percentages. So for example, here on the 50s, it would be 3 places, 50, 30, 20. Alright, so back to the Lewis, that's 2 places, and now we have a choice between percentage and high gun. Now because the program does not directly state high gun, we are going to run it as a percentage. So now, just for safety, we're going to click the show button, and we have 127 shooters in our Lewis. So what we need to do, if we are running a smaller shoot, we need to make sure that we're not trying to pay out too many people. So the easiest way to do that is take the number of classes and the number of places. So in this case, it's going to be 3 times 2, and then add in an extra 0.5%, so that's times 1.5. So we need a minimum of 9 shooters to run it this way. Now you might be asking, why do we multiply it by 1.5? And the easiest way to explain it is it's to ensure that we have enough unique scores that for where the line is drawn, there will always statistically be enough people to go into each class. Alright, so now that our setup is correct, we know that we have enough people in order to run this option. We're going to go ahead and click the Run button. Now you might wish to select Print Payoff, which will print directly out onto your default printer. I'm going to do Display Payoff, which is going to show the payoff as it is calculated. So click Run, and our first sheet comes up. So this is going to be our first class out of 3 classes. So I'm going to go ahead and click the Print button, and then click Close. And then immediately after, our second class will follow, Print and Close. And then finally our last class, Print and Close. So now let's make sure that we didn't have a breakage on that event. So what we're going to do is come down to the Finance Report, go to Tournament Finance, click Find Breakage. Let's select event number 9, and then we're going to tell the system that the Lewis option matches the Lewis option in the system, and when we can click Find, we can see that we have a $2.40 difference. That's absolutely fine, we can just ignore it. Now, what if we did have a large breakage? What could have gone wrong? Well, first off, the most common thing is that you don't have enough shooters to actually pay out that option. That's why we ran that little calculation earlier to make sure that we did have enough shooters to pay off this option. The other thing that could have happened is there was a network head bump. It's very rare for that to happen with the new database in Shoot Pro, but it can happen from time to time. I personally haven't seen it happen since Shoot Pro, but if it does, just delete the option and rerun it. So for the next part, we're going to talk about how to run a Hall of Fame Lewis. So here from our program, we can see that it is 50 to the shooters, 50 to the foundation. In our program, we actually do not have a specific payout instruction. It's just 50 to the shooters and 50 to the foundation. If this is the case, you need to ask the club if you are cashiering, or you just don't know. Just assume whatever the Lewis was on the event, because more than likely you won't just have a Hall of Fame Lewis, you will have a standard Lewis as well. So what we're going to do is go to the payoff menu, go into our standard Lewis, On event 9, we're going to select the Hall of Fame Lewis. And since we don't know how many classes and places that is, we're going to assume that it is 3-2 again. Our booklet doesn't say anything whether or not it is high gun or not, so we're going to always assume percentage. And then we are going to select Hall of Fame as our Lewis type. Now, because 50% is going to the shooters and 50% is going to the foundation, we're going to take our $20 entry amount and divide it by 2. So that means that our entry amount will be $10. Once again, we're going to leave that on display payoff. And let's see how many shooters we have. So we have 29 shooters, so 3 times 2 is going to be 6, plus half of its current value is going to be 9. 29 is greater than 9, so we're good to go ahead and just run this Lewis. So I'm going to go ahead and click run. It's letting me know that I've already ran it between takes. I'm just going to select yes and overwrite the data. Alright, so our first class, print and close, print and close, print and close. So now if we come to reports, finance, tournament finance, find breakage, open up event 9, go into the Hall of Fame Lewis and select the Hall of Fame Lewis payout bucket and click find breakage. We have a rather large breakage, 66%. What could have gone wrong there? Well, nothing. 50% of the amount coming in was going out to the shooters, and 50% was going to the foundation. We collected $580 in that purse, and it's being split in half. So $290 should go out to the foundation, and we paid out $289.50, so we're only short 50 cents. So you can either choose to leave that amount alone and manually handle it, or you can do what I like to do, which is to come into shooter menu number 2, generate member. I name it ATA Hall of Fame. I just fill in everything, and in today's case I am actually not going to fill in the address. Typically I would just fill in the address, because then when the checks are automatically printed, your check is ready to go. It's already going to go to the ATA. So now I'll select post. I'm going to tell it not to print the report, and then it gives us our handicapping flag. I'm going to go ahead and click close. So now that I have our ATA Hall of Fame shooter added, I'm going to go ahead and click on enter and type in ATA HOF in the name search. I'm going to open up our Hall of Fame shooter. I'm just going to click add. Now I can just click edit, done, yes, and now this shooter has been added. Now that we've added our ATA Hall of Fame shooter, we're going to go ahead and go to Payoff Utilities. We are going to go down to number 7, Add Edit Payoff. We are going to select event number 9, and then open up our ATA Hall of Fame shooter. It's going to alert us that this shooter doesn't have a payoff. We'll select yes. Now, underneath the Hall of Fame, we will put in the $290 that we need to pay into the Hall of Fame. We'll click post, we'll click close. Now if we come back into our finance report, click on find breakage for event number 9 and select our Hall of Fame Lewis for our Hall of Fame option. We can now see that we have a 50-cent breakage, so it's fine. Alright, so now we're going to run our 200 target Lewis. So here I'm going to open up the program. It is going to pay out 3 classes, 2 places, and it specifies first, second, and total 200 targets. So what that means is that for our $30 entry fee, we are going to divide that by 3, which comes out to $10 per 100 and total 200. And then the extra special thing that we get to do is run this purse high gun. So first off, I'm going to go to payoff number 5, Lewis class. I'm going to select standard Lewis, just like normal. 7, which is our event. Now I'm going to select option 2, which is our Lewis. And it's 3 classes, 2 places. And since it did specify high gun, I'm going to select high gun. Now that our first 100 has been entered in, I'm going to adjust the entry amount to $10. Click show, make sure that we have enough shooters, which we do, and click run. Now I'm going to hit print and close, print and close, print and close. Alright, so our first 100 is in. We're going to go ahead and run the second 100. So same process as before. This time we're going to select second 100, 3 classes, 2 places, high gun. We already know that we have enough shooters, so all that's left is to adjust the entry amount and click run. And finally, we'll repeat the exact same process for the total 200. Now, because this is a 200 target, it's just going to let us know down here that instead of paying off into the Lewis bucket, it's going to actually pay off into the Lewis 2 bucket. It is not something that we need to really pay attention to, although if we do have multiple 200 target Lewises on the event, we would have an issue. But this isn't a situation that arises very often. If it does, shoot us an email. We'll gladly tell you how to walk through that. Alright, so we have ran our 200 target Lewis.
If you have any questions, feel free to email us at support@shootingsportsoftware.com or call us at 1-801-396-7800. If you like that video, hit the thumbs up button. If you'd like to see when we post new content, hit the subscribe button. And if you'd like to receive notifications on when we post new videos, hit the bell icon. Thanks for watching.